This has to fit in this. I'm digging through this. Should I just empty it out on here? So much stuff, right? Hey, I'm Alan with REI, and we're gonna take a look at everything in my running vest when I go out in the backcountry. I started running in the mountains in Southern California, which some people think don't exist, but they're there, and most of the time I just have to worry about being too hot, make sure I had more water, things of that nature. When I got into maybe longer distance things, even like fast packing, a lot of that was kind of in the desert, maybe in the Sierra in the summer, to where conditions were a little bit more moderate. When I moved up to the Northwest, I was really excited because I was like, man, I'll be hot a lot less often. But I didn't realize that also meant I'd be wet a lot more often. So conditions were changing a little bit more. Things were colder. I just have to make sure I have things like gloves, have things like a wind and an insulation layer. And oftentimes, seems like maybe 8 months out of the year, I need a rain jacket.
Only 8.
So I can start talking about things that I wear no matter where I'm running, whether it's on the road or on the backcountry. And these are things that I always have with me. So probably these three most important things for me. A running hat, really like this, dig this. It's also got this really cool like adjustment on the back, the little bungee kind of cord, and fits a lot of my hair. That's often a big thing, like can I fit all of my hair in a hat? Next up are these glasses. These are some Oakley Prism lens glasses. I never thought I needed glasses until the first time I was running in the mountains, and I was like, oh, my eyes are really tired. Growing up in Southern California, I never wore sunglasses until I started running, which just seems interesting. And then coming here, I was like, oh, I probably won't need glasses. And then sometimes the sun peeks through and you think that I'd be like, you know, doing a big jump of joy and celebrating, but the first thing I reach for is putting my sunglasses down. Now I'm just like, oh, it's too sunny. So sunglasses are always with me as well. And then I have these headphones. These are the Aftershock headphones. They like leave your ear open. It's bone induction technology, which is really nice. And I got this because even down in Southern California, on some of the local trails I'd be running, and sometimes around sunset, like there'd be coyotes that were there, and I'm like, oh, they're pretty close. I should probably like be aware of things that are around me. And then out here, I've definitely been startled by some of the mountain goats, some of the bears. I really like that it keeps my ears open while still giving me that time to kind of connect with either an audiobook or some music that I feel helps me get me in the mood of the run. I'm wearing my Salomon running vest that I've had for a long time and that I love. Kind of built a standard kit, and I just have all that stuff in the vest now. Should I just start saying what's in the pack? If we start with the shoulder straps, these water bottles that I always carry, these are the Ultimate Direction water bottles. First, I like that you can open and close the bite valve, which is really nice, and I can do that with my teeth. It's pretty funny, when I first got these, I was like, these don't even work. I can't get water out. I ran for 8 miles thinking that I was not able to, it was like a defective thing, before I like just opened it and drank it, and then I got home and I was like, oh, pull up. I like that I can do that now that I know I can do it. They also got like the bigger opening on the top so that you can put some hydration tablets. So I tend to put like some Noon or some Scratch. Sometimes I'll alternate and put one bottle like water, one bottle some hydration nutrition in there. Then in the front as well, I got my Garmin InReach. This little device is pretty rad because, again, it gives me peace of mind. It gives my family and my loved ones at home peace of mind. I guess one thing I didn't mention was my watch. My watch is always on me, I guess, even when I don't run. But one of the things I like about the Garmin ecosystem is that it all talks to each other. So I can like flip up a screen on my watch and it can give me messages on my InReach, which is nice. Then moving on to the zippered pocket, I got one of the Adventure Medical kits. Sometimes there are rare occasions where I will run with someone, and in those occasions, I will turn to them and ask them if they have a first aid kit, and 99% of the time they say no. So I bring a first aid kit for 2.
That's so thoughtful.
Yeah. So next up is a headlamp. This is a newer Black Diamond Spot headlamp. One of the big things that changed, just even in my road running up here, is carrying a headlamp all the time. I never even used to carry a headlamp in my car, and now, like last year, I remember running through one of the local parks, and it was like 4 o'clock in November, and I'm like, where am I? There's like nobody here. This is like a ghost town, and it is completely dark once you get into tree coverage. So that's most of the stuff that's in the zippered compartment. But moving on to the pouch, the kind of kangaroo pocket in the back, I'll carry some gloves. These are some Smart Wool liner gloves. They're old. They're even like, you know, wearing out on the fingers, but they were supposed to be touchscreen. I felt like they never were, and now they are. Like now my skin goes through them. They could be touchscreen compatible. So I'll take some of these liner gloves no matter what run I'm doing out here in the mountains, because I feel like I'll always get cold in my extremities. I'll have a wind jacket. This wind jacket I really like. It's a Marmot wind jacket that's kind of like a Houdini. One of the things I like about it is that when you do pack it up, it'll just go kind of into itself. But the nice thing is it's got this like, you know, hand elastic strap. So if I wanted to run with it, I can just do that. Then back here, what else do I have? I got a water filter, which I tend to carry a lot in the backcountry. So the actual filter system is made by Katadyn and is the Be-Free filter. I love this thing. It's really small. It's really easy to field maintain. What else do we got? Oh. This is some hand sanitizer. You've probably seen those things clipped to people's backpacks. And I never understood the reason for it. I was like, do you need to protect your hand sanitizer that much? I thought that's what people put these things on. I'm that person now. And it's become like a texture thing. So I can feel around in my backpack, and when I feel the silicone thing, I know that's my hand sanitizer. And the rest of the stuff out here, looks like I loaded it up with some nutrition. If I was on a shorter run, probably what I'd do is maybe a block and some applesauce. What I like about this applesauce is that there's no added sugar, there's no added ingredients. It's just apples and strawberries, and that's it. And it's easy to kind of just suck up. And these guys, the shop blocks, they taste like candy. You're like, are you sure this isn't candy? Probably is. It's just a different name, nutritional candy. But anyways, these things keep me going a ton. If I'm going for something that's a little bit longer and requires maybe like a different type of nutrition, I really like these Patagonia Provision bars. They're like really sustainable ingredients. They're ingredients that you know would be good for you. The reason I don't always take this stuff with me is that I've heard that with the extra fiber, sometimes it's harder to break down while you're doing an activity like running. But if I'm going out for a longer day and I need some more substance, I might have this at a stopping point. My favorite stopping points are lakes, so I'll sit by the lake and just kind of munch on a bar a little bit. If I'm not feeling the Patagonia bar, then I might go with the lemon raspberry bar by Bearded Brothers. Really dig these bars. What I feel like is weather resistant kind of nutritional pieces to take with me are some of these waffles. So the honey stinger waffles. I've been out in very high heat in desert and they haven't melted. I've been out where it's been like very, very cold, and you try to take like a bite of a frozen shop block and you're gonna break your teeth. I've had the waffles and it's like, it's a little harder, but it's not going to break your teeth, which is nice. So I like the honey stingers. I like the taste, but also that they just seem like weatherproof, which is kind of cool. And lastly in the pack is some tenacious tape. I definitely try to take some with me whenever I go out. This is just kind of my repair kit. One of my favorite tenacious tape stories is, well, going up into the Sierra, I was showing somebody how to play with some ice axes and crampons, and they were learning, and so what ended up happening is they just shredded their waterproof pants. We were able to kind of put some tenacious tape on there. It was able to stay a little bit drier, which was kind of nice.